What's up guys, welcome back to Latin Chopsticks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, today we're gonna be doing a remake of an old video that we did because some of my commenters said a few things and I actually ended up agreeing with them before they even had said anything. We're gonna be going back to one of the all-you-can-eat Brazilian buffets here in Orlando. With that said, we are going to the dinner version, so it's a little bit more expensive. I believe at the time of filming right now, it's gonna be about $55 per person. I'm gonna try to compare it now to Texas de Brazil or Fogo de Chão, just to see how good this place compares to them, considering they're about 10 to 20 even dollars less than that of those other places. So, enough said, we're gonna go back to Adega Gaucha, all you can eat Brazilian steakhouse, and today we're just gonna focus on all the meat. So, no sides or anything, I might have it myself, but the focus of this video is gonna be for all the different cuts of meats that you can get while you're there. With that said, I am starving. I'm gonna meet up Danny there. I'll see you guys there. All right guys, awesome, we're here, we made it. This place is extremely packed, completely different from that of lunchtime. Now, one thing I did confirm as soon as I walked in, I was actually mistaken. Basically, the dinner and the lunch here, according to them, is exactly the same. The only thing that changes is the price. I'll have to insert the lunchtime down below like I've been doing for these last couple of weeks. I do know for a fact that the dinner is $55. I believe the lunch is around 30 something, but regardless, it'll be, I think, in this left corner or this corner. I can't remember based on the video right now, but I think it'll be down on this bottom right corner for me. It's probably gonna be the bottom left for you guys. There's two huge parties on the table right behind me, or I guess in front of me, behind you guys, and they're celebrating like their birthday, so it's like really loud, so I apologize ahead of time. With that said, they did send out the first item. It is exactly the same thing as before. It's gonna be the meat croquettes, which we'll try one in a couple of minutes. I'm actually waiting on Danny to get here. He ended up running a little bit behind, but as soon as he gets here, like I said, this time the focus is gonna be the different cuts of meat. I really wanna make sure I do this place justice because this is one of, in my opinion, one of the best Brazilian steakhouses here in Orlando. You have tons of options, a great service. It's located very central. It's right next to the Florida Mall, so I mean, it has a lot of good things going for it. With that said, I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes once we start having the meats on the table. All right guys, awesome, we made it. Danny's finally here and we're about to dig in. There's gonna be some sides on the plate. We've already had these, they're really good, but we're gonna focus on the meats today and I wanna make sure I get them to you as they come out when they're fresh. All right guys, so my plate is already stuffed. You guys gotta check this out. All right guys, so everything came out at once. I mean, this is absolutely insane. We have beef rib, we have Parmesan crusted sirloin, we have regular sirloin, we have leg of lamb, which some of the Parmesan crusted got on it. We have flank steak. This is gonna be like a rare flank steak, which I'm anxious to try. Everything's super juicy. I kept trying to film whenever we got one of them, but they just kept coming. And then this here is something special that they made for us. This is actually picahna with a Madeira sauce. Basically, it's a wine-based gravy that you can eat with the meat. So I wanna go ahead and just dig in as fast as I can before any of this stuff cools down. The first thing that we're gonna go ahead and dig into is gonna be this sirloin right there. All right guys, let's go ahead and check that out, guys. Ooh, let's go ahead and try this out. It's nice, soft, tender, rich of flavor. Honestly, I'm gonna try to see if I can get this, but it's like I barely even have to cut it with the knife and it breaks apart. Oh man. All right guys, the next thing we're gonna go ahead and try out is this flank steak. I cut into this, look at the amount of juices that came out. We're gonna go ahead and just try this flank steak. They gave me a really big piece, which I really appreciate. I love the fact that when you kind of look, you can kind of see all the little textures on it because they're cutting it against the grain. Let's go ahead and try this out. There we go. Oh my God. One thing I love about the place is the outside of the steak is really seasoned and it penetrates the flavors, so you're getting like a lot of richness with each bite that you get of the meat. One little tip for anybody out there that likes going to all you can eat like Brazilian steakhouses, whenever you're getting the meat, try your best to get the piece with the crust. It just makes it that much better. It's just a little tip from me. The next thing that we're gonna try out is gonna be this beef rib. It's nice and juicy. I'm trying my best to try to get all this. I mean, if anything, we'll always get more. But look at the juices. Like when I squeeze down, you can kind of see the juices flowing on that. It's nice and tender. I kind of went like this just to see, and it like the meat almost starts coming apart. So let's go ahead and get a piece of that and try that out. Let's go. We're gonna go ahead and dig in. Oh my God. This is super fatty, super soft, super flavorful. As soon as you bite down, you get this explosion of flavor. The fat coats your tongue, slightly salted on the outside, all comes together so well, and it just starts falling apart as soon as you start chewing it. Next star of the dish, this is Parmesan crusted sirloin. We're gonna go ahead and try this baby out, see how it is. I mean, like I said, this stuck onto the lamb, but let's go ahead and cut a piece. Actually, I might just, it's small enough where I think I can go ahead and just take one single bite. Look at the juices on that. This time, there's no waiting 15 minutes. We're just trying to have this as quickly as we can. Look at that, that is delicious. In my opinion, it's cooked perfectly, but of course, for those of you out there, you can have the meat rare, you can have the meat medium, medium well, or well done if you really want it like that. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if they do well done. I'm thinking they would, but it's probably not very popular. Let's go ahead and have that. Alright guys, now we're gonna go ahead and dig into the lamb. One thing about the lamb, it's really hard to get that gamey taste out. I'm curious to see if they were able to achieve that here. I'm gonna go ahead and try it out. Take a look at that. Oh wow, it's super soft. I wasn't expecting that. So it does still have a little bit of that gaminess, but it's not strong. At least to me, it's not strong enough to make it unpleasant like it is in some other places. Plus, the fact of how tender this is, that's really good. Alright guys, the next thing I'm gonna try, I've never had this before. I've had chicken gizzards, but I've never had chicken hearts. And they actually offer it here, so let's go ahead and try this out. Wow, that's really strong flavor. The best way for me to describe it is like a mixture of liver with blood sausage. I think that's the best way I can describe it. It's pretty good. A little gamey. A little strong in flavor. I guess it wouldn't be for everybody, but definitely it's worth a shot to try because it is part of the menu and it is part of the all-you-can-eat meat that they bring out. All right, guys, I tried my best to go fast. We're gonna go ahead and have the picahna. It did dry up a little bit, but we have that delicious sauce. Let's go ahead and check this out. So it is drying out a little bit, but I do want to show you guys all the juices that came out of this picahna. We have this amazing sauce. I kind of want to pour it over all of it, but I'm only gonna over pour it on the first two because I'm not sure if Danny likes it. But this is basically a wine-based kind of gravy sauce that goes with it. We're gonna go ahead and just get this first piece here. The outside edge has this nice fat layer. And yeah, let's go ahead and just dip it more into that sauce. And let's go ahead and try this out. Guys, I'm really excited for this one. I love picahna. It's one of my favorite Brazilian cuts. Super soft, melts in your mouth. The fat itself is super rich, full of flavor. That gravy sauce is really interesting because it really complements the taste of the meat itself. It's really hard for me to kind of explain the flavor of this sauce. All right guys, so my main plate is a mess. Right now, we ended up getting chicken covered in bacon. To be honest, in all the other places that I've been to, I do like it, but it ends up being a bit salty in my opinion because of the fact of the bacon. It's just so rich, it overpowers the chicken. I don't remember how it is here. I'm gonna have it now and I'll let you guys know. And we also ended up getting, because they passed by, the grilled pineapple because it's really good for your digestion for whenever you're having all this protein and all this meat. That way you could really take advantage of the menu. Let's go ahead and try this out. All right guys, this right here, as I was mentioning, is their bacon covered chicken. I do love the fact, usually with these, the way they're cooked, I'm gonna show you guys this side over here real quick. Normally in most places that you go to, yes, the sides are crispy, but the middle always tends to be like this on both sides. Luckily for here, they really try to do a really good job of making sure the whole thing is cooked so you don't get that soggy bacon. Let's go ahead and cut this in half. All right guys, let's go ahead and try this out. Ooh, so I can confidently say this is the first one that I have where it's not overwhelmingly salty. Bacon, super crispy, super well cooked. When you bite down into it, you get immediate crunch. Then you get that chicken. I know it looks dry, but when you bite down into it, I guess because of the fat between the bacon itself and the chicken, you do get a good amount of juice. But it's a delicious bite, and like I said, thankfully it's not overwhelmingly salty. All right guys, this right here is the grilled pineapple. Usually I'll use a knife, but super juicy, has a little bit of cinnamon on the outside, I believe some brown sugar. Let's go ahead and try this out. This is really good. They normally have it in most Brazilian steakhouses that you go to because like I mentioned before, this kind of helps with the digestion of so much protein. Let's go ahead and try that out. It's nice and sweet. The acidity is still there, but it's very, very slight. It almost feels like it's cleaning my palate. Extremely juicy. And then the outside where like the sugar was cooked, it's nice and crunchy. And I think I've said this multiple times, I'm usually not a fan of cooked fruit, but that is amazing. With that said, the next thing we're gonna go ahead and try out is gonna be their pork loin crusted with Parmesan cheese. Go ahead and check this out. So right off the bat, you can see the Parmesan cheese. In my opinion, it's not quite as crispy cooked or like crispy coated as the other one. I feel like the sirloin that we had was like Parmesan cheese with another cheese mixed together. This is definitely just Parmesan cheese. It might be like little pieces of garlic as well. We're gonna go ahead and try this out. All right, guys, now this just came out. It does look a little dry, but I wanna go ahead and try it and see how it is. Got everything I've had. This is by far the driest, but something to keep in mind, it is pork loin. So pork loin is one of the driest parts of pork because it has the least amount of fat. With that said, flavor-wise, really, really good. It's just, it is dry. Just like I said, keep that in mind. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go back to our main plate. I haven't touched the sides just because the meats have been non-stop coming out. Because it's so busy, there's so many people just constantly walking around and we just keep saying yes to everything. But I wanna show you guys, I did have the special order of picahna. I believe that's something that you can order, but it's not included in the all-you-can-eat menu. But this picahna that I'm about to show you is included in the all-you-can-eat menu, so check this out. So this right here, it's nice and juicy. The outside still has that fatty layer. They do slice it really thin for you, so it's gonna be really nice to you know, cut and bite into it. It's nice and tender. I love the fact that they gave me the outside crust. So keep in mind, this is normally what it would look like, but I personally love the outside crust. I feel like that's where the most of the flavor is. Let's go ahead and try that out. All right, guys. Oh man, picahna is just by far one of my favorite things. I will say that because I just had that pineapple, it was nice and sweet. The salt is so much more apparent. And I believe the outside has flaky salt because you kind of get a little bit of crunch when you're biting down because of the salt crystals that are on there and forming on the outside crust. All right, guys, I got the next item out. This is interesting. It's grilled cheese with guava jelly doused on top. You guys gotta check this out. Now I'm gonna try to see if I can move some of that guava off. You kind of see some of the brown char marks on it. At first I thought it might be mozzarella cheese, but I think this is just frying cheese. I can already tell you guys this is gonna be delicious because in Venezuela, something that I love eating is basically cream cheese on like a saltine cracker with a slice of guava on top. It's delicious if you haven't tried it. It is a little different than what you might be used to, but you also here in the US do see like the guava cheese snacks that they sell at, like, for example, here in Florida at Publix. I'm not sure if any other states have like similar things like that, but this is like, you can't get any fresher than this. Oh my God. Cheese is super soft. It has like an outside, not crispy, but it does have like an outside smoky layer. The inside's nice and soft, not quite melted. I would say it's the texture of like mozzarella cheese on the inside, but that guava kind of overtakes the saltiness of the cheese and you get this like multiple of actions in your mouth of like saltiness, sweetness, flavorful. It's just honestly a bomb of flavor in your mouth. It is delicious. All right, guys, so honestly, I think there's still a few more items. I know for a fact there's at least one, which is the pork sausage. I didn't have that, but honestly, I had so much protein today. I ended up eating like the potato salad, which was, I don't know, it just tasted like heaven to me. It was probably because of all the protein, just having something creamy and soft with like a little bit of vegetables is like honestly really good. With that said, I would, same thing as always, or same thing as last time, I would 100% recommend this place. It's so located so centralized and in such a great area that's already having a ton of tourists. So, I mean, man, I'm just telling you guys, if you gotta go to a Brazilian steakhouse, definitely try out Adega Gaucha. I mean, this place is delicious. The service is phenomenal. They're super friendly. Mind-boggling to me that dinner and lunch are exactly the same thing. The only thing that changes is the price when you come for the dinner. So, I mean, if you're getting the same amount of quality and choices of meat when you come here during lunch where their prices are like 30 something or maybe 40, like I said, I'll have it in the bottom here of the video, at the beginning of the video, so you guys will know the price by then. I mean, in my opinion, that is a freaking steal for the quality of food that you're getting here. Now, of course, I will be completely transparent with you guys. Most of the meat that I had today was the outside crust because that's personally what I love and I request that normally when they come to the table. So just keep that in mind. But for me, it was just super flavorful, super good. One thing that Danny says, where we kind of are a little bit different in that sense, is for him, because all the pieces that we were getting are like the outside delicious crust, for him it's a little too much. He kind of would have preferred having a little bit of mixture between the outside and like the inside of the meat, because the outside, of course, is where all the seasonings are, so you're gonna get a stronger flavor. Guys, guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. You know, I really appreciate you guys. We are growing. For anybody watching this, I believe this video is going to come out during Christmas Eve. You know, Merry Christmas for those who celebrate it. I hope you guys enjoy your day with your family and your loved ones. I will see you guys next Sunday, right before the new year. But until then, as always, let's just keep on eating.